Hello, and welcome to another episode of Reviews from the Pile. If you haven't watched the other videos, basically me and Alex went to this guy's house that had his own personal video store in his basement, and it was just loads of tapes on the wall, and then he also had a categorized
with these numbers that were on the spine here, and these colored stickers. Oh, that one fell off.
We got a lot of good tapes, and we're going to watch all of them. Today, we're going to talk about Nomads.
Nomads.
A home too good to be true. With a secret more horrifying than you can ever imagine.
It's John McTiernan's first movie, or at least his first credited movie. Would you say it's like a good step out of the gate for a director?
I mean, it impressed Arnold Schwarzenegger. Apparently, Arnold watched Nomads and was like,
This is the guy we have to get to direct Predator.
This was probably really flashy on the big screen when it came out.
Yeah, not so much on a videotape.
Not so much on a dub tape.
It did just recently come out on Blu-ray, though. So
I think that's right. Yeah.
Within the last couple of years, it just came out on Blu-ray. So if you do want to watch it in HD, and there are some reasons, which we'll get to in a minute, to watch it in HD. Anyway, so
mostly because this movie looks pretty dang good. Cinematography. Yeah. But the rest of the movie...
So it starts off with a nurse.
A nurse is seeing to this raving crazy guy who's played by Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah,
who's speaking in French and other tongues, I think.
Wow. Yeah, we are introduced to Pierce Brosnan while he's screaming in French, and there's blood all around the curtain around his bed in a hospital room.
And leading to his bed.
His pupils are constricted, pressure's up, motor stuff's right. I'm sure it's a PCP, but I don't know. I can't get a needle in him to check. Now, if I try to sedate him, Look, I know you're new, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but if I sedate him without a neurology, okay, my ass is...
Your ass is secure there, okay? Just go see if you can find someone who speaks French.
They can't calm him down.
No.
They have to take a syringe to him to calm him down, but nobody can do it. Except for this one nurse who goes in and comforts him, and then he breaks through his restraints and
freaks out.
It grabs her earring and rips it out. I think that's what happened. He rips her ear or something, but also whispers something that I didn't hear. Maybe it was a dramatic effect. Ooh.
Yeah. After that, doctor starts to see strange psychedelic visions of somebody else or something else while she's doing irregular rounds.
The old carpet was yellow, but the owners didn't...
Eventually, she starts getting visions of Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
But before he was a crazy, raving lunatic in the hospital, when he was apparently an anthropologist.
Yes.
Who moves into a house in L.A.
A French anthropologist.
A French anthropologist, mind you, with a French wife.
I am going to get food in supermarket wrapped in plastic. I am going to eat hamburger comme les Américains. Alors maintenant, je suis Américain.
They both have French accents. This was really hard to watch on a VHS tape because the audio wasn't too clear.
It's not
it's better on the Blu-ray.
Well, it's not only that. They were both doing really bad French accents.
It's a heavy French accent, but I think the shittier your French accent sounds, the better your French sounds, but for English it just sounds weird.
The whole time I'm thinking, why did they have to be French? Like, neither of these actors are French. The Doctor keeps seeing visions of Pierce Brosnan's life as him and his wife moving into this really nice house, and they are almost immediately, they realize that, or Pierce Brosnan realizes that there is someone or a group of people that is targeting them.
What are you doing?
Pigs kill.
And also, they only show us those two, but there's more lettering on the wall, and one of them says sex, so rodents, cool dude. And then he sees this black van driving by his house.
Yes. He sees blood, or it looks like these words written in blood on his garage door.
Red spray paint.
Yeah, something like that.
And he finds like a bloody rug in his garage.
He rolls out this bloody rug.
Clippings.
Yes, and it's filled with clippings of things that have happened, dark things that basically we don't see them too close up, but it's like people missing or this person did something, and they're all just caked in blood, and it looks all nasty and shit, and you're like, why the fuck aren't you going to the police immediately? He goes to his wife, doesn't show her any of this.
He immediately grabs his camera and hits the streets.
Oh my god. And his wife is reasonably freaking out on him and saying, like, what is happening? Tell me what's going on. Why are you acting like this? Why are you acting weird? And he's like, it's no problem, baby. Nothing at all. And then just scoots out of there and starts doing his own little investigation.
This is like my favorite parts of this movie, where you get some LA grime.
Yes.
As you follow Pierce Brosnan, as he follows this black van, which, surprise, surprise, has punkers in it.
Yes.
They go to a gas station, they go to Okie Dog, they go to the beach.
But he does follow them, and you said, so he follows them to several places it's LA, right?
Yeah.
And you said that the Okie Dog is like some sort of significant...
It's a famous punk hangout, or it was. I don't know if it is now, but like it's of punk relevance.
Right. Which, that's kind of interesting about this movie, is that it is one of those movies where it views the punks as the bad characters, as the scary punks, as opposed to just like punks, which, you know, they just listen to hard music and have spikes. These are the scary, dangerous punks. Mm-hmm.
Pierce Brosnan's good idea about what to do with these punks or nomads or whatever is to see what they're up to, which is killing people presumably and putting them in dumpsters.
Yes.
And he goes, hey.
So there are a lot of things this movie that don't work, but the Nomads are freaky. The Nomads are scary, and once we start to look at them individually, they're very interesting. Each one is they're all clearly one unit, but each one is very like scary in their own way. Like, so our most famous, well, maybe not our most famous, but one of the more famous Nomads is played by Adam Ant,
who himself was a punk.
Yes.
But by that time, he was not really a punk.
Yeah, he was...
New romantic, I think, is the term
he was
for that kind of new wave music.
He was a goody-goody two-shoes.
He was a goody-goody two-shoes.
That's what he was. But I love Adam Ant. I love to see him act, too, and he does a pretty good job in this movie.
He's not really given much to do other than be menacing.
So, okay, none of the Nomads are given much to do except for Mary Warrenov.
Mary Warrenov.
Who is also in this movie and is also a Nomad.
She dances for Pierce Brosnan.
She dances...
Because apparently, at that point in the movie, they're not interested in killing Pierce Brosnan. They just want to pose for his camera. They
want to dance for him and pose for pictures at one point. And it's so wild. I love that scene, though. I think that scene is fantastic. And it's just because it's so bizarre and it's so, like, the Nomads kind of menacingly accepting him.
There's really 4 main ones.
Yes.
I forget what I don't know who the heaviest dude is.
Yeah, there's a really muscly guy with a mohawk, kind of.
Well, it's a ponytail.
Yeah, it was a ponytail. But we get all that. We get all that interesting Nomad stuff. And then the movie kind of, like, slows down.
It really picks up during that part when Brosnan's hitting the streets.
Yes.
But it gets more... It gets kind of bogged down after Brosnan takes pictures of these punks, returns to his wife, and is like, "They're Nomads!
They're Nomads! They're Nomads!
Don't you understand? They're Nomads. Nomads. Nomads, yes, like all of them."
Yeah, and then there's a montage of him, like, setting up his film stuff, and that was so unnecessary. I was just kind of like, why? Okay, great. He's doing the chemicals and stuff and pouring them in his sink and making
a red dark room and whatever.
And then the payoff for that is that he looks at the film and they're
not there.
They're not there. We go back to the doctor, which she's kind of the narrator of the movie in a weird psychic way.
Yeah. And apparently she's
freaking out.
She's reliving some of what Pierce Brosnan went through.
Yes. So she's kind of like sleepwalking through Pierce Brosnan's life.
Then she gets hospitalized herself, and then she goes missing. So now we're following around people who are following her around, but she's following around Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, I forgot to mention her best friend. Her best friend is really cool in this movie.
No sense of humor. This son of a bitch gets out of his car, looks about 14 years old and he's got a beer belly already, gets out of his car carrying a tire iron.
We're seeing a lot of great camera work and a lot of really good shots and beautiful...
Lots of crazy lighting.
Yeah.
I think the best is, like, it's basically a music video shot, but, you know, it's one of those shots where you gotta have it if it's the mid-'80s and you're filming in an alley.
Oh,
where
yes.
There's light coming at the person running towards it, and there's a misty alley that's behind them as the camera's chasing him through. It's a great 10-second sequence.
It's really beautiful.
And then it leads to another great scene where Pierce Brosnan is exploring, I guess, an abandoned convent or something.
Oh, yes.
And there's that nun
he meets up with a very spooky nun.
There's like a skeleton.
There's a skeleton.
Nun's robe.
There's a hanging nun.
There's a hanging nun.
And then there's just nuns running everywhere.
I think
nuns...
some of them have like demonic faces and stuff.
Yeah, some of them look like they're wearing purge masks, I think.
Yeah. Or like they were punks too. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening there, and they never explain that
at
any point. It's a very interesting movie. It's slower, but it was good to watch.
There's some really, really good moments, but
yes,
a lot of the movie is very
drawn out
and kind of art school flashy for what it kind of is trying to be. Also, if you look at the cover for this movie, there's like people with lit up eyes and they're like screaming, and you think it's going to be like about vampires or something.
Yeah,
but
the
like,
cover does
nothing crazy supernatural really happens, and I think that's a common complaint about this movie is that, well, I watched right up to the ending, and nothing crazy supernatural like that happened. There wasn't really anything other than the Nomads not being caught on film and that they can't really die, I guess.
Pierce Brosnan's wife finds a news clipping that shows that the Adam Ant nomad had died in his cell of apparent suicide. So that kind of tells us that the Nomads aren't really living, but they're definitely there, and there's
some kind of
something
spirit.
This film is like the better version of Dr. Sleep, because in Dr. Sleep, the whole plot of the story is about a group of traveling nomads, basically, that go from town to town, and they live in vans, same as these nomads, and they're basically vampires. But the main difference in Nomads is you don't really know what they take from people. You don't really know, do they kill people? Do they just terrorize people? What do they do?
Yeah, I'd say that kind of wraps up Nomads, but as for what else is on this tape...
Right.
But at the beginning of the tape, it was obviously, clearly, some TV program was taped...
Something was.
Taped over to contain Nomads, but after Nomads ends... It contains portions of the 29th annual Grammy Awards with Billy Crystal and, I don't know, Don Johnson and Whoopi Goldberg. It's a segment of that. And also, there are commercials.
Yes.
We didn't bother to watch all of that, but we assumed that the rest of this tape is commercials from the late 80s.
From the Grammy Awards.
Yeah, and the Grammy Awards. This must have been like 87, 88.
At least.
It had that Peter Gabriel album, Sledgehammer.
Yeah, and Whoopi Goldberg looked really young, and so did Don Johnson. And they were making a joke about Whoopi Goldberg breaking into his house and stealing his jacket. So that's what was on the rest of that tape.
Yeah.
One last
keeper.
I do want to say one last thing. In one of my earlier videos, one of my first videos, Sequels from Hell, I reviewed The Gates of Hell Part 2, and at the end of the video I said, if anybody wants this video, just tell me, I will send it to you, and I still have it, but somebody actually reached out and said, I want that tape. So you are getting this tape, and it's coming to you very soon.
Lucky you.
Lucky you. That was...
Tapes from the Pile, review number something or other.
Yeah, we're
of Nomads.
And that was Nomads. And you should probably go see it.
Go get the Blu-ray.
It looks
much better than the stub copy.
And, spoiler alert, you might get to see Pierce Brosnan's dick.
Oh, yeah.